Remember that summer a few years ago? And I was inspired by that. Let me also have a heart that wants to be a cowboy. But because there are no cattle at home, I can only make do with my black donkey as a seat. But I didn't expect this calf to not cooperate. It knocked me off my back several times. The worst one was a kid. Fly me to the pear tree, hanging on it for 5 hours ever since. I have a sworn feud with that black donkey. Every time my father is not around, the two of us will have a captain for several hours. At first I managed to muddle through, but then gradually, this donkey seems to have figured out my routine. Within 2 days, I made him black and blue, until that morning. When this calf carried a box of fireworks. He said it was left by his father for the new year. Which ones do you want to dig out to collapse cow dung? It kind of took my inspiration away. Follow him to put the fireworks tubes. Split into 3. Thinking about throwing one when the donkey grazes later. Make sure you can blow him up. A total of more than a dozen were dismantled before and after. Afraid that the power is not enough, I have improved a few plus versions. However, just when preparing for action, my father also just came home from buying vegetables. I thought this is bad. If dad finds out, the firecracker will tell Arvin Dodd. So I hurried forward to help my father carry the dishes. Arvin took advantage of this gap. Hide the fireworks. After that, I thought of an excuse to take the donkey out for a walk. Find a place with no one and blow him up. As a result, my father shouted, "Bastard. You know how to go out all day long. Your uncle and the others will come over for dinner later. Go wash the vegetables and raise the fire." And I nodded my head. Then I went to burst the straw absently. The result is the moment of ignition. I heard it clearly out of nowhere. There was a sound, but I haven't had time to find the source yet. The stove exploded in a flash. I wasn't really prepared. The wall was directly smashed by the powerful impact pot. Dad ran out when he heard the sound, looking at the mess in the kitchen. I was in a hurry at that time. "What are you doing? Let you live. Did you bury a landmine in your child?" I cried and choked up and said, "I don't know." The treasure exploded by itself, but Dad obviously doesn't believe it. While scolding me for a day, I cleaned up the kitchen again. After a while, several uncles also sued their father. Let me put them in the main room. Then I started living and cooking by myself, in the dark. I always have a bad feeling about this. Hurry up and find Arvin. I want to transfer the fireworks ferry. Avoid regeneration accidents. And the kid said he hid it in the woodshed straw. I fuck. This time, the heart that let me down is finally hanging. The next second I rushed into the kitchen. I saw that my father had already burned the rice. Stuck grass in the stove. It's too late. I heard the lead wires in the stove sizzling. Dad thought there was something wrong. A moment of observation through the head. Boom, boom, again. What did the father at the mouth of the iron furnace have at that time? Psychological presupposition. It was directly collapsed by this sudden collapse. Fly away so fast. I haven't had time to say goodbye. Just say goodbye to the world. When I get up in a daze, I just found out that the crossing has become a jet. It's also dark around. Sporadic flames also ignited a licorice pile next to it. I know a bigger disaster is coming. When you want to run out of the kitchen, it turned out that the movement was too loud and attracted an uncle. He came in and asked what was wrong. Did your father go shopping again? Why are you going so fast? I haven't spoken yet. The remaining fireworks went off again. Boom again. Yes, this time even my house trembled. Opposite the door, the uncle of the mouth was directly thrown out of the local area. It's approaching Mach 2, and it was quite extraordinary. The uncles in the back room are stupid. Stunned for 2 seconds. They're like ants on a hot slope. Start to get restless. But before they had a chance to catch their breath, more fireworks erupted on the stove. This time it's like a volcanic eruption. These fireworks are continuous. Swoosh, swoosh out. There was an instant sound in the house. Deafening explosions hit my soul. The glass is broken there. I saw an uncle with my own eyes. It was blown straight out of the door. Fell into my donkey shed. Suddenly there was no movement. I've been sticking to the wall, beautifully moving, as if the soul was lost, until I heard no movement in the house. He dared to walk leisurely towards the main hall. Enter the wood for a moment. I almost passed out, and the house was a mess. The originally white wall was directly blown into khaki. Sparse unknowns fell down the wall. Several uncles are dressed, lying on the ground untidy. The thermal pants are all disconnected, with his mouth open like a goblin casting a spell. Cover the black circle. Among them, my second master's body is quite hard. Most of the body is embedded in the wall, are still alive, and I started bleeding. Don't go out again to avoid the limelight. It is estimated that my father can light a sky lantern for me when he comes back, but unfortunately, it still hit. The village rescue team took our fathers to the hospital. It is said that my father fell into the on turtle at that time. In the bucket of the car where the horse fireworks come back. The flames on the body caused another spray, and we were also held up by two villagers. The hospital accompanied the fathers for 2 months. So far, the above content is below. Do not imitate.